Hello there, welcome to HTML understanding class. I'm going to say it exactly like that because that's what makes sense. Just bear in mind, guys, I've been doing like tutorials all night. I've got like 6 or 8 of them, 9 of them underneath my belt just in one night. I know it's a little crazy, but you know, it's like one of those things. I'm really tired, so bear with me. I'm trying to get this thing done so that way that you guys have something. I don't want to leave you guys kind of hanging dry. If this turns out to be one of those bad videos, then I'll delete it and then I'll start a new one. But basically what's going to happen is this video tutorial, it's just the starting, it just scratches the surface, because HTML is a lot more bigger than you think. This is actually HTML right here, and it's like fame and glory. But this is very basic after all. It's kind of like literally nothing compared to like what I usually deal with on a daily basis. But if you guys are going to learn, if you guys are going to understand this, you're going to have to start somewhere. And this is a lot more easier to understand. Okay, first off is what we've got here is we've got a little simulation. This is part of a thread in the forms like this right here, what you see right here. This is the template, and this document is actually the code that's from here, so that way you guys understand where you're at. Anything that I can change it on here. So basically my point is I'm not trying to change anything right now. What I'm trying to do is teach you how to use typical HTML, and to understand it I'm going to show you how that we, you know, like how we use the HTML in the website. Well, this actually covers the fundamental of HTML, but it just it's going to open your eyes to where that you can understand it a lot better. First off, and especially when we get into this HTML stuff, first off, I just want to let you know that, you know, this is PC language, more or less. This is like art of language for the actual computers. Think about it. If you're going to build something like this, you're going to have some type of language. You're going to have some type of understanding. You know, this is computer language, so that's why we call it HTML, like actual coding. Because in actual reality, it's actually a form of speak, talk, communication, understanding. So basically that's what this is. Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? Alright, so basically to understand and to even start with this, you're going to have to understand HTML in its prime. Okay, most HTML is usually got a starting point, which is usually going to be an HTML script of some kind. That's usually the beginning to a start of an HTML code. Then you also have this code, which is basically actual closed off. This is an open code. It has no slash. This one's a closed. Now, the way that this works is when you open it up, you got to close it off, or it just keeps on running. So that's basically what HTML does. It tells it to open, it tells it to close, and then you program exactly what you want to say after that. That's basically like HTML right there, fundamentally wise. You're probably going like, I don't understand. It's okay, it's a little complicated at first, but you know, that's the way. Now, basically what you tell it here and what you tell it to do, it will do on the website, and basically that's how you're going to be able to make this thing work. Okay, so you could delete subforms, and what will happen is it won't even show subforms. That's weird, but it will do that. Now you can also add in something extra, and if it will work, it will work. If it doesn't, it doesn't. HTML is like a guessing game. It's like when you add in certain stuff, it may not work properly, or it just doesn't want to work to get, you know, not even work at all. So you're gonna have troubles, but the benefit factor is there's a lot of recipes for that. But that's not this is not a tutorial classes on like how to, to modify your site like that. The idea is to learn how to use HTML. Now, first off, you got the body. This right here is the body. This is like the actually you got a mean in the middle. Well, the body is kind of like in the middle, and in a way of sense. So basically, in a nutshell, this right here is where you're telling it to go. The body is a instruction for area. Basically, it's basically telling it to where to go specifically onto the website. Now, basically, this right here, which is the head, which is actually the closed off, which is right here. This is an open, so this is where it starts, and this is also the location header. So this is where you're telling it to go, the header. Now you can change this to the footer. So then what will happen is that it will go down to the footer. So interestingly enough, you can actually change the location just by doing that. Pretty crazy, but awesome at the same time. Now that's basically HTML, running and running. Now this is the reason. Okay, like a lot of people don't understand why they have to actually have a closed off tab here, because in order for it to work properly, you're gonna have to close it off properly. Because HTML works in this type of code, you gotta actually have where it can understand what it is that you're trying to tell it to do. You're probably thinking, why can't I just put like HTML like this? And I mean, why not it work like that? Well, it's because typical like writing, like a lot of this stuff looks like, like header rules, subforms and stuff. All that looks like basic stuff to me. That looks like actual like I'm reading actual words here. Well, there's a problem. You see, down here, right here where the HTML is, it's actually not going to work because of the fact that it's not put in the right catacombs. You got to put these quotations here and shift and put it up here on the that, and then also this right here to close it off. Now, is that correct? No, I missed the slash. I did that on purpose, guys. But basically, that's the closed off. That is correct, because that is right. See? And so basically, the reason why that this doesn't work like that is because you actually have to use actual basics. This is basics 101. The actual quotations actually, and what if I put it in like this? Will this work? No. Because it's actually now open and not in a good way, because it actually won't work at all. Now you could do this. Now that's going to start to work on another script. Say if you want to add something else extra. Of course, you don't have to add it to the HTML. You could just go into the body or the footer or whatever you want to go to, the header or whatever you want to do. Basically, you can do it like that. You can actually add more codes onto it. That sounds very confusing, but in actual reality, it's not that complicated. Say if I wanted to add in the footer over here to the header, I could, technically. Now I can actually add the footer there. And I can just delete this if I wanted to. You see my point? And technically, that's a bad idea, because actually that's going to put it at the header. The footer is going to be at the header, and it's like, that's kind of stupid. But the idea of being able to do that, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. So basically, that's why it sounds a little crazy at first, but actually in reality, it's like, okay, now this opens up Pandora's box. I mean, what can you do with it? A lot, actually. So it's not really that complicated, just as once you get to the basics. Like this is location. Okay. Header is location. And this right here is a script, which means that basically that's an added on feature that you don't necessarily have to have, but it's there anyway. And you can actually do a lot with that. So it's pretty cool. That actually does allow you to do a lot of stuff. You got rules here, you got subforms. You can't do any other modifications other than that. You can actually just change location. And that can also be a big thing too, because a lot of times the location could be a problem. But actually, reality is not that bad. Anyway, that's pretty much it for that. If you're going to start like trying to apply new HTML, basically like why is it that like the image and stuff like that, the backgrounds and stuff, why does it not actually have the actual HTML stuff? If you look closer to here, you can see that this has actually got the HTML codes and stuff like that. You see how this is closed in? You see how this is actually somewhat of an actual code here? Well, that's because of the fact that it's the way it works. Now this right here is actually coded in, and it actually is programmed to the point where basically it still actually has actual codes. It's just that it's just not something that you would normally actually realize that it was actually codes. But it's actually very simple and very easy to actually mess with this necessarily, because it's very easy to mess with this. Because all you really want to do is to modify anything is just change the colors, and pretty much this is all the colors. But this is just HTML Basics 101. There is a program that actually I do have that's actually pretty nice. It actually changes the colors. Well, it not changes the colors, but it actually has a mixer, and I got it off of CNET, but I don't remember the name of it. It was like Color Picker or something. No, something like that. But anyway. Also, there's a website that you can go to. I've gone to it. I'm gonna go to MSN. Basically, it was called colorpicker.com. If you don't have a program, I highly recommend getting a program. Okay, so this is it right here. Basically, you can get an HTML color to an extent, whatever you want to do, and pretty much basically there you go. It's pretty nice. Get that HTML code, go in here, there you go. Now it's changed. Now you pretty much go into there, save, and pretty much it's done. Colors are really simple to modify. Usually you could just download like Diablo 3, and you could just go in there and start mixing it up like really fast. Just taking my time here. Alright, we're doing okay. Definitely gonna have to wrap this up very soon. The basics of the actual JavaScripting is to understand the art of language, which was pretty much the way I was explaining it. See how this title has it right here, and then it's got a closed in title. It closes it off. It tells it to stop at a certain point, because like you don't want it spilling off into the directions and making no sense. This is actually just basic stuff right here. But if you didn't close off the title, say if you moved it down to here, that could be a problem. Like say like right here. Say you stopped it right there instead of right here. That could be a problem, because what's going to happen is it's going to spill out, and it's going to actually actually go out into the actual website, and you don't want to do that, because that's actually bad news. Okay, so basically just putting it back, very simple, very easy. That's pretty much basically JavaScripting right there. If you guys are having a little bit more trouble, the thing is, this is kind of like one of those things that you pick up and go. This is a best and easiest way to explain it, as far as, because it relates to the website, and I can get you started really fast on HTML understanding. Actually, this is very easy stuff compared to what I actually had to learn this all by my own. I didn't actually have some video tutorial actually sitting here and explaining this to me. I actually had to learn this myself, and that was the hardest part, because actually I had to learn it by myself. There was a lot of YouTube tutorials, but nothing really relating to myBB at all. And so this actually should work out real wonders for you. If you're having too much trouble, like I just can't wrap my mind around it, maybe I'll come out with some other video tutorial to like kind of help out, but I honestly just don't know. The best thing to do is kind of go watch a bunch of YouTube videos and try to see if you can actually get more input. usually it's a lot of ways to explain it into your mind exactly to where you can understand it, and that's going to be the hardest part because, depending on the person, they probably think that this should be something that's like, click here, basically just, something that's automatic. Unfortunately, just get to know this. You're getting into the big boy stuff. You're going to start learning how to, do stuff that's going to like completely change everything that you ever known, and it's going to change your whole entire life as far as is concerned. And this could also increase more under your belt if you're actually trying to learn. And also, there's nothing better to actually sit there and actually code something that you did yourself, not somebody teaching you or showing you exactly. I'm showing you guys the ropes. You guys walk through the door. You guys take charge and do what you guys want to do. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to give you guys the, the helping hand. Thanks guys for watching. That's the end of this video. Bye bye.